There. Welcome, people. It's Friday. You made it. See, it's not so bad, is it? Okay. It's great, guys. Good to see you again. We just get Carlos and Giovanna in, and we're gonna start working. Okay. Sure, man. I don't know what you're saying, but sure. All right. Check this out. There you go. Now, in your website, when you have the material and everything, so we are going to move on to uh, material for Zoom section B. It's going to finish something with A, and then we're going to move on to B. Now, you have two books here that I recommended you open and glance at it last time we worked together. So I hope you did that. And well, we're going to find out soon enough. Okay. So, see, Paola, how are you? You okay? Everything's fine? Okay. Joanna, everything cool? Angelica, it's a very nice view of your house, I think. I don't know. All right. So let's do something. First, just in case you didn't open that link and look at those books, this is the cover of Techniques and Principles of Language Teaching by Diane Larson Freeman. Even though this is the second edition, there is a third edition out there, but still, it's good. And this is the latest by Jackson Richards, Richardson Royer, Approaches and Methods in Language Teaching. So again, if you didn't have the opportunity to glance at them, to look at them, at least now you know what they look like. That's the cover, that's the cover, and hopefully you will open them and read them, study them. It's a shame you cannot underline them because you have to print them. Hey, it's a whole thing. But okay, all right, guys. So let's see. Say we do something. Okay. Share. Why am I so bad out here? All right. So we're going to work a little bit with Nearpod today. I know you have some problems with fifth grade. I'm still trying to figure it out. Don't worry. There's no rush. There's no hurry. We'll get to it. Just let's do this here. All right, so you're gonna use this code, and we're gonna start. When we're talking about English and everything, so English speakers, mother language, safety features, users, blah blah blah. All right, now we're gonna watch a video, and within the video you have some activities to do. So pay attention.
This is Harvard Square in Cambridge, Massachusetts, home to students, teachers, and visitors from almost every country in the world. Hundreds of foreign languages are spoken here.
My name is Maria, and I'm from South Brazil.
My name is Marie-Denise Elie, and I'm from Haiti.
I'm Christine, and I'm French.
My name is Ariella, and I'm from Mexico City.
My name is Jenna Wan. I came from Korea.
These people are all speaking.
Can you see it well? Everything's working fine?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's do that.
Speaking English. But what if they could only speak in their native tongues?
All right. So this is where you're going to answer some questions.
Should we answer them now?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Very good. I only have one answer.
Teacher, did my answer it already show, or I don't know what happened to my screen. I don't know if it froze or the answer wasn't.
It
Strong.
happened to me too. I was writing and something came up with an answer and now I can't
Mister,
write.
you're sharing Ricardo's answer.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
All right, sorry, my bad. I'm still figuring out. All right, very good. Tell everyone will be confused. They won't understand each other. They won't understand anything. And very good. There's little to no chance of them being able to understand each other. Nobody will be able to understand each other. Very good. They will not understand what they're saying. All right, all right. They understand each other, like saying, huh? Excellent. Ari, I don't have your answer. There's no answer. Okay. So we're gonna move on.
My internet went crazy and I couldn't even watch the video.
I'm sorry. Okay, don't worry about it. We're gonna move on to the next one.
Tongues.
Eu acordei hoje de manhã. Vini, moi mes
Mes deux filles à l'école.
E depois, bueno, depois de buen
Okay, was our class.
Nobody could understand each other, and life would be very confusing. In order to communicate more effectively in a melting pot like Harvard, many people decide to improve their English. English here is the lingua franca.
Okay, so just tell me. This is very, very brief. By lingua franca, we mean A, an honest language, the truth, B, a Latin variation of Spanish, C, the language of the host country adopted for communication, or D, a language adopted for communication between speakers whose native languages are different from each other. All right, very good. Let's continue.
The language that everyone has in common. People who want to learn or improve their English come to the Cambridge Center for Adult Education, right near Harvard Square.
It's very important to know English in general in life.
So this woman, she wants to learn English for general purposes, to get a good job, to communicate with people from all over the world. Just click A, B, or C. All right, very good. I mean, the correct answer is for general purposes. You know, she says it's important to learn English. in life, nothing specific. But okay, let's move on.
If you speak a language like Portuguese and you want to communicate with people from any other country, you have to learn English.
All right. This other woman, she needs to learn English for general purposes, to get a good job, to communicate with people from all over the world. Wow, very good. Okay. So yes, to communicate with people from all over the world.
I should know English, yeah, because I have to live here, I have to talk to people, I have to work.
Okay, and this last woman, she needs to learn English again for general purposes, to get a job, to communicate with people all over the world. Check in, see if you're paying attention. All right, well, the answer is to get a good job, right? Since she lives here, so she has to get a job and talk to people. All right, moving on.
Do any of you read your horoscope?
This is AC Kemp. She's a linguist who has been teaching English as a second language for 10 years. Here, she is teaching an intermediate conversation class. Students who reach this level often become frustrated. They reach what is called an intermediate plateau. An intermediate plateau is a common phenomenon when learning any new skill. For example, a child who is a talented athlete can master basic skills easily, but becomes frustrated at the intermediate level.
Sometimes you learn to communicate a certain way and you start repeating a mistake and you don't realize that. So you have to become aware of how you're speaking.
All right, so the question is, what is an intermediate plateau and how does it affect students' learning? So write down your answers. Hopefully you were listening to the video. Okay, very good. Anaí says intermediate level in learn anything. It frustrates students. Well, yeah, it's partially right. Nobody else? It is when learners already reach a good level, but they have trouble moving on. Right. They feel like they're not improving. They usually get confused or frustrated. It is when learners, but they're not improving. I think if they're more talented and the level where they are stopping them to advance, then learn to speak a certain way, but they're making mistakes. Means that you learn something, you keep making the same mistakes. Yes, very good. So feel frustrated. It is when you know something, but not in a deep way. So to become better, you have to be aware. That's a good word, aware. And when students reach sort of limit, they get frustrated because they feel like they're not getting better. Maybe some of you feel like this is meaningful to you. Like, oh yeah, I felt that way. I have felt that way before. All right, very good. Moving on.
AC keeps her students involved by selecting interesting topics for discussion.
If you break a mirror, do you think it brings you 7 years of bad luck?
Today's topic is superstition.
You have superstitions in Japan, don't you?
4 is bad luck number. 4 means death.
What about walking under ladders? That's a big one here.
It's not superstition, but maybe it's dangerous because they're painting or they're doing something. So,
Do you think it's bad luck to open an umbrella inside?
It's weird.
It's weird.
To open an umbrella inside a house. I don't see the reason why.
You've heard of the superstition of knocking on wood, haven't you? All black cats are unlucky, aren't they?
AC also uses visual aids to help her students learn.
You already have one of these, don't you? So everybody on a page 20 should have a picture of the palm. Now, first of all, can anyone tell me what this line is? My lifeline. Okay. Can you tell me what your partner's life is going to be like?
Long life, but with a lot of sickness.
Can you tell me what kind of life he's going to have?
you will have a regular kind of life.
I think the most fun at this level is that you start to see that you actually can communicate, and when you try talking to people, you know, that first time that you have a real conversation with someone, not just one sentence, you know, not something that you practiced from a book, and that's really exciting to realize, hey, I'm speaking English. I'm not just reading some exercise from a book, but I'm really talking.
All right, so that's a question for you. Do you remember when you first realized, you became aware that you could communicate in a foreign language, be it English or I don't know any other languages you speak? Okay, do you remember that moment? How did you feel in that moment? Did it have any sort of repercussion, consequences? Oh, Giovanna, I remember was a child. Okay, good. It was funny because they thought I had studied English before when I really hadn't. Oh, Diane, excellent. I don't remember. Well, amazing. Even though I was aware my English was far from perfect, the person still understand me. Yes. I remember when I look back at my improvement, it makes me happy. Excellent. I remember when I started to understand movies without subtitles, and I felt proud of myself. Right, that's what I mean. You know, I try to remember that feeling because your students are going to go through that, and it's well, you can imagine, you can remember that it's highly motivational for them. I learn on video games. They talk to people around the world, so I think it was nice that they would know. Juliana says, I was in high school talking to my friends, and I wanted to say a sentence in English. I said it, and it went perfect. It's an interesting moment because I discovered that my knowledge was actually useful. Okay, very good. Excellent. It's amazing that when I realized my mother made me learn English. Richie, you have to solve your issues. It was great to talk with other people. Shadow Killer, it would be better if you write your name because I don't know who Shadow Killer is. Excellent, excellent, very good. Okay. I mean, like, when you think about that moment, and maybe after that, you say, I'm going to try harder, right? Because I really like that. Make me feel, like you say here, proud of myself. Like I'm not wasting my time. This is actually leading me somewhere. And now you're here, right? Being ready to become teachers and walking other people towards that feeling. All right, let's move on.
Okay. Every time I speak English, I'm a different person. The fact that I can understand people, it's amazing. It makes me very happy.
All right, and that takes to the last question. Like I said, you already know English, so try to remember what did you enjoy the most when you were learning English. But if you are learning another language, try to concentrate on that. you know, because by now maybe you take English for granted because you grew up with it, you learn it, blah, blah, blah. But maybe you're struggling with French, Italian, German, Japanese. I don't know. I don't know your likes and dislikes. But what do you enjoy the most about that, learning another language? Okay, being able to read it and to understand conversation in Japanese. All right, Bianca. It's a thrill. Understand the movies, like English references. Okay, it's good. Being able to understand songs, movies, being able to talk to them. And nobody else understand what I'm saying. I can say whatever I want. Oh, Dayani, that, yeah. Kind of getting to understand what you were saying in the first language, when to communicate with people online. The feeling of achievement that I feel every time that I learn something new. Very good, Juliana. Understanding what people wants to say, not only what they're literally saying, like slang. Okay, nice. Discovering new words, underlying lyrics and conversations. Nice. Okay. Brings a new perspective. Enjoy feeling like I'm actually understanding the lectures. But by lectures, I mean readings or actual conferences? Arle, open your mic and tell me, when you say lectures, you mean like conferences or reading?
I meant more like classes.
Oh, classes. Okay. All right. Cool. You know, to read and understand. Yeah. The thing I enjoyed the most was that not everyone so I felt superior. Oh, it's okay. Definitely what a Ravenclaw would say. Okay. Having much more information and access to new culture, learning a new culture. Very good. Okay. Excellent, guys. Remember, there are no wrong answers. Okay, this is how you know, what do you enjoy the most? I can read webtoons, watch series. Excellent. Yes. All right. Now I'm gonna minimize this so I can go back to the Zoom session and we can talk to each other. We're gonna go back and finish some other activities. Okay. But do you understand what we're saying? Where this is going? You know, like we are going to help the students, but we need to know how we can help them because we want to help. But since everybody learns in such a different way, how can we reach them? Okay. Usually, what we do is we just repeat the same things that we've been through. Okay. When you learn English, you did it in a way that worked for you. Definitely. And we tend to think that the same way is going to work for our students. Okay. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. So the more you're aware of the different methods and philosophies and ideas and techniques, then you can make better decisions. You know, like I cannot reach Anaí the same way that I reach Bianca. Bianca is more into these kind of activities, Anaí is more into these other kind of activities. Yvette prefers to work alone, but Arlette is more social. So you know you have to consider all of those things. And last session, we were talking about that. But okay, now we're gonna go back to the activities, and well, we're gonna do some. I think it's fun, but you know, I'm very bored. Now you have 2 minutes to do the matching. You're gonna match a word with the language. Okay? 3, 2, 1. There you go. You got 2 minutes. Can you see it?
A word with what?
Oh, there you go. Carlos has 1 match. Shadow Killer has 2. You're gonna match the word with the language. Wow, she has 3. Ari has 4. Wow, Ari's very fast. Angie has 5 now. Ari has 6. You still have over a minute. Remember, there are 5 pairs. Otto has 2. Okay, it's good. Dayani has 7. Ari has 7. Woo! Ari's got 10. Dayani's got 10. I mean, everybody's a winner. Oh, Ricardo, he's got 10. Maybe he did it before. Sorry, I didn't see that. Okay. Dayani, 10 tries, 10 pairs. Wow. Ari got 13 tries, 10 pairs. Jesus and Carlos, 11 tries, 10 pairs. Very good. Okay. So this is supposed to be just fun, just to, wake you up a little bit. Right. So when we see the pairs, right, we can see that hola, that's Spanish, salut, that's French, ciao is Italian. I'm not sure how to pronounce this because it's Russian. Konnichiwa, Japanese, ni hao, Chinese, salve, Latin for the gladiators out there. There is a language that is very interesting called Esperanto. Maybe you want to Google it later and we can talk about it. Aloha, that's Hawaiian, and hello, right, that's German, that's serious, everything. All right, very good, people. You did a very, very good job. All right, now this takes us to our next activity. And like I said, last week we did something. We talked about this, so you have a previous knowledge on this. Do you think the teacher's way of teaching should change depending on students' reasons for studying a language? Yes, knowing what? We answered this question in the last session. I just want to go on record because I think I made a mistake and I deleted the chat, so I don't have your answers. So let's take just I don't know, a minute or two and type in your answers. Yeah, I think the teacher should change the way they teach, or no, I don't think so. On the record.
Teacher.
Yes.
Mr. Peña, I just wanted to say that the one that names Shadow Killer is me, but in the next session I want to change my account.
Oh, okay. Ajir, you're Shadow Killer.
Yeah, I want to change my account because I couldn't access for my
whole
medal.
Well, thank you. Right, guys, I don't see your postings. There you go. I don't think it should change completely, right? We have 10 more minutes. Needs to include, most of the students have. It will be difficult for the teacher to teach in a different way to every student. Okay, I have 2. Every student has a different reason. I don't think so, but I think it would be nice for the teacher to be aware. Not completely, but teacher jobs to facilitate the students' learning progress. I think that rather than making the teacher change the way they teach. Okay, Arleta's good. Okay, it depends. The whole class has the same purpose. I wish. Not really. It will be hard to adapt. I don't think so difficult because everyone has a different reason. Yes. They show the techniques according to the purpose of the group. Okay. No, the way they teach, but the approach they take. Oh, okay. Interesting. I don't think they should entirely. It can be complicated. It will be different to have different methods. we can figure out a method that adapts to diverse reasons. Then teachers should be able to adapt. I believe it has not to change because it is efficient structure to help all learners learn. Okay. Now remember, last session I told you one size doesn't fit all. So what Arlette said here, would be better if they found a strategy that would work for most students. So Arlette, open your mic and tell me what's going to happen to the students that don't learn following that method, that strategy. Arlette, talk to me.
Well, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking more like in public schools where education is not specialized. So you can't be like over every student because that's just not possible.
It is not.
In classrooms where you have like 30, 40 students.
Yeah.
So I think the best option will be to seek private lessons where
okay. All right. That's good.
the attention is personalized and they can get a kind of learning that is better for what they need. I think.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good. No, like I said, is maybe you find a way to teach that will reach 90% of the students. That's great. But does that mean that we are willing to sacrifice that 10%? Like, well, 10% is not that bad. Like, I save nine students out of 10. So if I only lose one, will be like an acceptable loss. Otto, do you think we can consider fine acceptable losses? Like if only 10% of the class fails or don't learn, that's still a good result. Antoniel, what do you think?
I would say it's a good average, but we can also learn for the results. What is going on? Why are they failing? And maybe my techniques are not for everyone, or are too complex or fast, or we can learn from these results.
Very good. So much here. Well, we have to adapt. Who said that? Everything will be too able to professor. Just saw that. Oh yeah, here Angelica says, I think teachers should be able to adapt to different stages of modalities, try to stay updated with the new ways of teaching, but still stay true on what they feel comfortable with. Okay, Angelica, open your mic and tell me, how can we do that? How can we find that balance?
Well, I think that every one of us as a teachers, we have like this one method, this one way of teaching that it works for us. However, and it's something that it makes us to feel comfortable in when giving a class. But I think that at the same time, we should be able to understand that probably that's not the way what works with all the students. So, well, so for example, sometimes a group of students will be feeling better with working with pictures, with sounds, videos, but other students probably will be feel more comfortable working with more grammar, with more technical aspects, and some others will be better having both of them. So we should be able to adapt, to take all the little details that we can from different methods or different approaches, so we can create something that works for both the student and for us. Okay, I mean, without losing our own thing.
Yes, excellent. Okay. I mean, what Angelica said here, that I think that really captures the essence that I hope you can get at the end of the semester. Okay. Now we're gonna see the theories and the methods, blah, 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 everything is there for you to be aware of their existence, and if you need it and your students need it, you know, they're there, so you can use them. But one of the critiques that now we have about methods, and well, yeah, methods approaches, is they're so rigid, you know, they're so one way. Because when you follow one philosophy of teaching and you follow one method of teaching, that's it, okay? But we don't have building blocks in our house, in our classes. We have people, okay? If you take, I don't know, 1,000 bricks, you can make a wall because all the bricks are the same, all the bricks weigh the same, they're the same shape, you know. But you have students, you have children, you have young men, young women, older people, and they're not bricks, they're people. So we're gonna see these, you know, like I cannot try to force the student into this method. So what they're saying is, why don't we adapt our way of teaching to the student? Okay. But like I said, it's complicated, okay, because we have so many students with so many different motivations. But we can, you know, try to find that balance. That's why I said methods are rigid, but our approach in general should be more flexible. Okay, so maybe I need to slap Josue on the head for him to understand, but I can always just tap or you know, just give him a pound in the back to Richie, and he understands. You know, so it's very different. I can just explain this to Arlette, but I have to walk and guide Yvette through the whole process. Okay, so that's what I said. The teacher has to adapt to the class and not the other way around. Okay, so that's what I want you to take away from this course at the end. Like I said, we're gonna see a lot of methods, a lot of techniques, and the most important thing is what works for your class, what works for your way of teaching, and for the students' way of learning. Okay, that's the thing to consider. All right, guys, we have less than a minute. Please don't go. I'm going to stop the conference, but just come back in. Just give me 5 minutes, and then we're going to